Hello and welcome. I'm Adriana. This reading is for someone who needs a little bit more insight today. I am a clairaudient channel. I have always been intuitive, although very skeptical of my intuitive abilities. It wasn't until I started working on my issues and spiritual blockages every single day for the past 8 years that my filter really cleared out so that I could become a more clear channel for the divine, especially for those who want growth and who want change and who want to become better. So, as I'm getting the deck ready, if you could please just clear out your mind and open up this space right here so that we have the best connection and the best helpful information coming through for you. Okay, we're going to look at the situation first. 5 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. Okay, brave face, putting on a brave face. 10 of Wands. Okay, 7 of Cups. Now my guides are saying right away tipping point. So there has been a lot of tragedy, a lot of loss for you in the past. Our 5 of Pentacles here. Some of this looking like it has to do with children or now it's not childhood trauma per se, it's definitely something to do with your children. So there has been a situation where you've had to grieve a lot of this energy or a lot of this loss in private. There's not a lot of people around that have either gone through the same thing or feel like they can relate to the same thing. And also because, whether it's because the face you feel you have to put on or the social pressure to put on a certain face, you've just kept a lot of this under wraps, a lot of this under closed doors. So you appear in public very poised or very put together and like you're doing okay, but in the dark or in those private moments, there's that deep sadness and regret. And you're getting to this point right now. So our next cards here, 10 of Wands and 7 of Cups. You're getting to this point where this facade is getting too hard to hold up. 10 of Wands is saying we're holding on to something, we're holding up something that we're just not strong enough or we're too weary of holding up anymore. And the 7 of Cups is you're questioning yourself, like, do I want to hold this facade up anymore? There's a part of you that would really, it's kind of like the wild in the astrology chart, the Lilith energy, it's the wild part of you that would just like to like just let loose in public once. Because what you've been having to hold on to and the entanglements you've been feeling because of that, it's just too much. It's overwhelming for you now. So now I had a different question I was going to ask, but going in a different direction, we're going to ask why your soul would want you to experience this. Another 4 again. Chariot. 6 of Swords. 2 of Wands. King of Pentacles. All right. Now I'm getting the sense that this is all about strength. That in past lives, you caved in too easily. And there was maybe dependency or... There's a funny Frasier episode where Frasier says to Niles, I see you're still waiting for that spine donor, because Niles just kind of was being spineless. It's that kind of thing, the wishy-washiness or unwillingness to really stand up to adversity, just caving and saying, okay, yeah, I'll go along with you. Being a pushover. And the reason why you've chosen such a hard road, this feeling of I have to hold myself up even though this is debilitating me, it really is all about building strength and learning that the way to build strength this time is actually, no, the way to heal is actually through this building of strength. So the muscle you have built, the mental, psychic muscle you have built up from having to hold yourself up, even though you may be kind of crumbling on the inside, that is the healing. Now, this is very strange to me. I feel like we're in uncharted waters because that is not the kind of message I would expect to get. But for you, apparently, that is the awareness you need, because it makes all of this worth it. And once you recognize that there is this hidden muscle you've been building up for yourself, the way to healing is, it's much clearer, right? The Six of Swords is you patching yourself back together, putting yourself back together. The future sees you, the Two of Wands, being able to move forward. And then I find the King of Pentacles here a really interesting card, because King of Pentacles is all about generosity, all about having so much that you can give. And once you realize, is this the way this is going to work? Okay, when you realize that this whole karmic situation of learning to build your own strength, learning to build your own backbone, it's going to help you release this stuff, because they were part of that healing journey for you. They were part of helping you learn how to have that backbone. The loss that occurred around those children, this is all teaching you to have that backbone. And so even though it's maybe not the outcome you wanted, or maybe it's not the situation you would have chosen, had you had a choice, it's really about thanking those dependents for teaching you to be independent yourself, because that was the only way to heal from that previous lifetime. Having to stand on your own so much was the only way to heal from that previous lifetime. It's possible that you had some kind of physical disability, where you were dependent on the care of other people for your physical mobility. We could also be talking about a relationship where, I'm trying to say this nicely, or maybe you were given everything that you wanted and you didn't have to work for anything, and you didn't really learn the tough way, the resilient way. Like, you didn't have much grit. You were just handed things on a platter. So, there's really no reason to get stuck in the past lives, but understand that this life is moving you forward in a very different direction. That's our Chariot here. You're moving forward in a different direction. And the grief that you're feeling from the loss, it's almost like a memory. I don't feel like it's an emotional rawness right now, but it's just like it's a painful memory. And when it gets to the level of being a painful memory, it just means that you need to change the way you think about it. And then that memory will ease and flow in a different way. Now, why? Getting the feeling of portal here. This looks to me like the Phoenix Rising portal. Like, doesn't that look like flames coming up? So what's going on here? This is the portal through which you will finally accept your strength. You will finally accept every hardship as being the teacher, as being beneficial. Because, okay, so if the object is to avoid suffering, then of course every hardship seems like a bad thing. But if the object is to build strength, anything that builds strength, good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, is good. Okay? So it may not feel good, but it may be good for you because it's building strength. I mean, who really likes to do push-ups or planks, right? They don't always feel great, especially in my case, if you haven't done them in a while. There's a lot of shaking, right? but they are good for you. So there's a little bit of that swallowing the medicine. And what else do we need to find out here? Okay, so we're going to look at a last insight about this. 5 of Swords, the World, so close, and the Page of Swords. Okay, and we're looking back towards the 5. Now the 5 of Swords is either energy is being taken from you or you're taking energy from someone. We have this cat and it's trying to take away these fish or the food from the crow whose head is down here. It's a little hard to see dark on dark. Okay, but then we have this lovely World card, which is the culmination of everything you've learned, and the Page of Swords sharing everything you've learned, but not sharing it from a point of view of you were bullied or you were victimized or something was taken from you. This is about looking back at your past in a very different way. This is like my past unfolded to make me the strong person I am today. It's seeing everything that has happened before as building you. So it's like if we're thinking about a building and you're laying one brick at a time, everything that has happened to you has been one more brick in your foundation. But the way you've been thinking about it is you build a little bit up, then some bricks get knocked down, and then you build a little bit more, and then the bricks get knocked down. If you can change the way you think about the past, that even the bricks that aren't pretty, even the black bricks or the burnt bricks, every single one of those bricks is an important part of your foundation. That's going to really help you understand where you have, I don't want to say how far you've come, because I'd like a different wording there. It will really help you understand who you are. Because the thing with the other form of building where you build up a little bit of bricks and then something knocks it down, and then you build it up and then someone knocks it down, you never fully get to finish that building. But the world is saying we're at that point of culmination. Maybe the whole building's not finished because then it means it's time to cross, but maybe a whole side of it is finished. And what if we looked at life that way? Every single little thing that happened to us has been good in making that who we are, the way we handle adversity, the way we deal with things that aren't in our favor, that has made us everything that we are. This might be my own personal skew on this, but if I'm doing a painting or a drawing or something and it's going well and then I make a mistake, part of me wants to just start over, just paint over everything or rip out the page and just start over, because I'd rather not have a flaw underneath what I'm doing. But this is about accepting all of those things, whether it's a flaw in ourselves or maybe what we perceive as a flaw in the process. This message is coming through that there really are no flaws. There are just points to learn from. There are points to improve on, but no one is really flawed. They're just living out a certain vibration. And that kind of seems a little bit like science-y to me. It seems a little detached, but it can very much help with the way you assess yourself and others, that if there are no flaws or there are no like wrong choices or bad choices or those type of things, it's just consequences, and then the consequence of living that vibration and attracting the things that that vibration will magnetize. So, if you live out at the vibration of victim, where everything is done to you by someone else, you're going to attract more and more of that. Is that flawed? No, but it's actually perfectly put together. It's working perfectly. But is that the only option you have for going through life? No. So I want to know for myself, why is this important for us to have a different perspective on the past? The devil, because it's our perception of the past that keeps us locked in self-sabotage and imprisonment and in self-limiting beliefs. What you'll find on pretty much all images in the tarot is that there might be a different way to show cages or shackles or being bound, but the door's always open. He's being in here because he wants to be in here. So something about the way you're talking to yourself about the past is keeping you limited in the expansion and the fullness of who you really are. And that's limiting your future. That's limiting your options for the future. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just what it is. Your future has limited options. So taking in this way of reframing our past is the key to freeing ourselves to live that full, expansive, loving life that we really want to have. No one is doing this to us except ourselves. And for some reason right now, you really need to focus on reframing your past and rethinking the way that it feeds into your present. Okay, is there anything else that wants to come through? This is work that needs to not wait. You need to make sure that you do this soon, like today, right after this reading. I don't mean to sound bossy, but I'm getting that there's a timing with all of this. You know, we have a new moon coming up. That's prime time for manifesting. So there's an urgency that is coming through with this message that now is the time to reframe. Don't waste another precious moment of your future by keeping yourself held back by your past. Okay, I'm going to close the reading there. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm also a soul path mentor, and so if you're curious about what that is or how that can help you on your own journey, please check out my website, soulguidancewithAdriana.com, and I'll see you soon.